My name is Tafriha Islam, and a bit about myself. I've been living in Regent Park for the past 20 years. I went to elementary school here. I went to high school a little bit out, but I've always been part of the community, and I'm really happy to be part of this community. My parents both actually were living a really decent life in Bangladesh. When my parents initially wanted to go abroad, they actually weren't planning to come to Canada at all. My mom was like looking at the children. She was like, I want my children to have a better life than I did, and I want them to have more opportunities to succeed. And thankfully, the embassy has called and said, you guys got accepted and you guys can come to Canada as immigrants. Most of my childhood, I was living with my grandparents. My dad was actually away when I was even born because he was working at Qatar. And my mom, she was a school teacher. So most of the time she was kind of doing school. So I grew up with my grandparents. From ages 0 to 5, that's all I have memories of a lot of my family. So when I came here, again, it was a very new change. And we came here in 2005. We ended up moving into a family friend building. And we lived with them for a couple of days. And then we moved into the same building. And it was actually Oak Street, which is right beside Regent Park is these 3 buildings, the Oak Street buildings. And we lived there and we moved 3 times within those buildings. From one apartment, we slowly upgraded to 2. And then we moved into Regent Park to a 3 apartment building. A lot of things have changed after the revitalization in Regent Park. So a lot of family friends that we used to know here kind of moved out of Regent Park and they haven't moved back. So that changed in the sense that there's less people that I knew from growing up. And there's a lot of new people coming in because of the condos and things like that. They've done the gentrification of Regent Park, in a sense, also tries to hide sometimes what the true Regent Park was. What the media thought it was always this kind of scary place where there was a lot of gang violence going on and things like that. For us, it was never that. We always had fun. We always just thought of this place as home and family oriented. And so now I would think that they've kind of washed that away, or they've tried to wash the history of Regent Park away, or the roots of what makes Regent Park away, with these big new condos and nice looking houses. But it's we didn't grow up in those kind of areas. Even though we weren't part of Regent Park in the beginning, we grew up with the kids community in Regent Park. I went to Arabic madrasa classes in Regent Park growing up. And the reason why we loved it so much, and my parents were attracted to staying here, is because I guess of the Bengali community and the sense of home. It feels like back home, but here, but in a different sense of home, because even though we're not all family, when you're walking around, I'm still known as Amin's daughter here. So it's the same kind of vibe that I get from when I go back home. Over the years, eventually, we can't move here. And a lot of people who actually moved out during the revitalization, they got nice houses to stay in TP. She was here, live in a nice house in Scarborough. They were no, we want to come back to a small apartment in Regent Park just because of the community sense. A lot of my friends actually did end up moving back to Regent Park just because we grew up with these people. They're all Bengali, I'm Bengali. So it was so nice growing up in that kind of community, and everything's near us. Community itself is what attracts people to stay here.